Hello, in today's episode, I'll talk about what I learned from a crying student in my class. To give a bit of context, I'm teaching English in Shenzhen, China. The students in the class are around 5 years old. Chinese is their first language, and they are learning English as their second language. In one of my classes, I have a boy who has separation anxiety. So he doesn't want his mom to leave and he cries the whole class. His mom basically sits outside the classroom, and our classroom has a glass window. So he can see his mom, but he's still like very terrified that his mom's gonna leave him. So the thing that I really learned from this boy was that it takes time for things to change. Also, progress can be very gradual. So what do I mean, and how does this relate to the crying boy? From so the boy basically cried all 60 minutes of the first class that I taught, and he didn't participate much in the activities. So a few classes later, he was like willing to do some activities for about 10 to 15 minutes. He's still sad and crying, but he's willing to try, which is progress. And today's class, which is their sixth class, he was crying a lot. He wanted his mom, but he participated about 40 minutes or more, give or take. He was definitely sad and he had some tears, but he was willing to try. He was willing to say the English words and letters. He would still constantly like look over and glance at his mom through the glass window because he's like still afraid that she's gonna leave him. So that's the basics for kind of what I kind of learned from this crying boy. So I also had a call with one of my friends who is also an English teacher yesterday. He basically explained to me that sometimes improvements can come in minutes. He said that maybe a student might misbehave all 60 minutes of a class, but you can use your reward system and give him some negative feedback. So if he misbehaves, maybe you take away his stars and he doesn't has as many stars as the other students. And that creates a negative feedback. So he knows, oh, I probably shouldn't do that if I don't want to lose my stars. And then maybe the next class, the student will still misbehave, but instead of misbehaving for all 60 minutes, they might misbehave for 55 minutes or 50 minutes. So that's like a small improvement. But if each class they can slowly, gradually improve each time, their behavior issues will improve. Or in this case, the crying boy, each time they're willing to participate in class a little bit longer, a little bit longer, a little bit longer, and then gradually he gets used to his mom being away, further away, further away. He'll eventually adapt and get comfortable without his mom being there. So it's more like I have to have a different expectation. Um, so he also mentioned that younger students are still learning how to behave in different situations. It's part of their cognitive development. So I think it's an important lesson for me because I used to feel like if I'm not making progress with students' behavior, with their learning, or in this case, their separation anxiety, I feel like, dang, I'm not, I would feel bad about it. So, however, these small steps, these of progress, should also be tracked. So you can kind of see that there's improvements. And I can definitely see that there's improvements with this particular student. And eventually he's going to be comfortable without his mom being there. So thank you for watching until the end. If you like the content, please subscribe and I'll see you next time.